Well, hi everybody, Bill here. Thanks so much for stopping in for another video. I sure appreciate it. Take a look at the adventures I get into out here in eastern Iowa. A couple of viewers said they'd really like to see the box blade back out in use, so we're going to take it out today. And this is the King Kutter Box Blade. I've had it for a few years. It's 72 inches wide. It has 6 ripper shanks there, and those ripper shanks have replaceable heat-treated teeth. And each shank has 4 positions that can be adjusted for more aggressive or less aggressive work. The molding board, the mold board, that's the part that carries the soil along, is 20 inches. And let's see, it weighs about 500 pounds. So today we're going to take it down to the pond and we're going to even out a road that I kind of cut in on a sloping hill, so I can get back to my spring and landscape it and fix it up a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go down to the pond. Okay, what I did here was I took the backhoe and I cut into that sloping hill. It made a path back there wide enough for my side-by-side and the tractor. And the reason is I want to get back to the spring. Here's the spring. I've been here 35 years and I can confidently say it's been running a decade or so before that. It's running a little slow today, but my intent of getting back here now is to capture some of that water, get some waterfall noise. You can see I had a black box there before getting it, piping it down, and it would pour into the pond to make a little noise. So my goals are to landscape that, get some falls and get some water noise and doll it all up with some decorative stone in that. So we're going to back in now with the box blade, and we're going to start leveling some of that out. The backhoe, left it in pretty good shape. I probably wouldn't need to do this, but I'd like to make it a little more smoother and level. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you the point of view from this view, and then we'll look at the back seat view too. Alright, as I go along here, watch the top link. The beauty of having one of these there, see how I tilted it and changed it to be a little more aggressive? See how it's picking up more soil there? So as I'm dragging it along here, I'm trying to fill in some holes and lumps and level it out a little bit. Now I've got a spring that runs across this little road, and you're going to see what I did here in a minute. I put some rocks in there, some riprap, and then I run over those with the tractor and drive them in, and they just get firmer and firmer all the time, but I don't want to bury them real deep. There they are. So when you get some soft spots, I throw riprap in and then just drive over them, and it'll smash down in there and it'll bridge over real nice. Then I'm going to come over here. This is where I had some pond repairs, and I want to push it back in. Look to the right of the picture. You see that white stuff on the pond bank? That's that bentonite that I put in to plug up crawdad holes. So I want to cover that up a little bit. The deer come down here and drink out of this, so I don't want them stepping in that bentonite. It's just like pudding. Alright, so we're going to back up here and take another swipe. I'm not using the scarifiers, I'm just using the cutting blade. Like I said, the purpose of these box blades is to, level out uneven ground, holes, lumps, spread material. You can use it to spread soil or gravel. Kind of doing that here in this case. The box blade's working by scraping that soil as I go forward, and it carries it to lower spots along the road. Or if you want to push it going backwards, and we're going to do that here in a little bit, you can almost use it like a dozer blade to push dirt or gravel. It was wet today, so you can see it's going to clump up in there a little bit. It's hung up in there right now on that right side. There you can see it now. It's on the left side. But at one time I had to get out and use a pipe to break that out of there. And like I said before, you can see the bentonite there on the pond bank. I want to cover that up with the soil. This next pole does a pretty good job of picking the soil up, and that mold board there is holding it. And it's going to help it carry it over to where I want it. really getting towards the end here. The road's looking pretty good. Look behind it. It's getting real smooth. I'm going to seed this with clover when I'm all done. A real low to the ground growth with it to help with erosion. But we're getting a nice pull here. This will be a nice one to push in over the bank. The next road that we're going to use the box blade on isn't as forgiving and soft. You'll see what I'm talking about. Here's a case where it's muddy and it's hung up in there. The noise you hear right there, that's where the pins go through the box blade. I usually put a little coating of grease on that, and I forgot this time. So you're hearing that metal on metal there. Doesn't hurt anything, but I do like to put just a little bit of grease on there and eliminate that. So here I found a stick that was laying nearby and just had to break it out of there and dump it off. So my plan is once I dump it off, like you can see here, is then I'll use all the dozer type design to this and then just push that soil back over the pond bank, covering up that bentonite. And I want to do a big shout out to Randy Jacobs, who pointed out, why are my brake lights on all the time? See them on the tractor there? They're on. There they are on again. Well, doggone it, I thought that was in the design, but it's not. Here I had a hydraulic hose laying on the brake pedal ever so lightly, just enough to turn the lights on. So I removed it and the brake lights went off. So Randy, thanks for bringing that to my attention. As much as I've edited this, I've never really consciously seen them on. So thanks again, Randy. Hey, I'd like to get some shout-outs to people that took time to check in. Last video, Ron from Hancock, Michigan said hello. Gary Power checked in to see if I was still alive. He hadn't seen a video for a while, so thanks for checking in, Gary. I'm still alive. And Mr. Brian checked in from Seattle. Dear Fred from Australia. And Sean, he's out looking for a rear top link. So I can highly recommend the one I use in these videos, Sean. I'll get a few more shout-outs in a few minutes. There's something kind of satisfying about bringing in a load of dirt like this and scraping it off the ground there. And I really like the dozer feature where you can lift this up, dump it out, and then push it backwards. Again, here it's kind of muddy. Now if this is gravel, I wouldn't have this problem, but it seems like working that rear lift, that's another reason to have that tilting lift there at the back to be able to do that. It falls out. Nicely using that feature. So then I'll doze it back in and just keep pushing it over to the bank. I'm going to do a video on the crawdads and what the damage they've done to the pond there. But I'm winning the war overall. I'm going to be picking up some catfish here next week. Catfish apparently are an enemy of crawdads, so we'll see if we can eradicate them naturally. Alright, so this is going to wrap up the lower road. Now we're going to go up on top and see if we can fix this road a little bit better. It's rutted up real bad and very rough, so let's see if we can use the scarifiers and the box blade to get this a little bit smoother. You can see there's some tree roots there that I want to use the Sawzall and cut those off so I don't do any more damage to them. Like I mentioned before, this implement weighs 500 pounds. There's probably a way of putting some suitcase weights on it, making it heavier. This is an interesting angle because I don't see the box blade in operation from this point of view. I see it from this point of view. So as I'm going along here, I'm looking between the tractor and the front part of that and thinking, well, I'm scraping off the crown, but it's really not doing a whole lot, is it? That was a little disappointing. So as I drive forward, you can see it kind of picks up that crown that broke up. And that's not too shabby, but I'm thinking this probably isn't the best way to do this. So let's get it turned around. We'll drop the scarifiers and we'll run those through here. Let's see what it does. So I've got all 6 scarifiers down. Looks like there's about 2 holes. Must be in the third. So I'm not getting real aggressive because I've got the tree roots there I want to be cognizant of. But look, it's doing a pretty nice job. You might think, heck, just leave it like that and you're done. But we're going to go ahead and take a few more passes and play with this. Honestly, I haven't used the scarifiers too much, but this is a good example of how they work. So it's going pretty well. I'm real happy I'm not hooking any roots of the trees through there, so that's good. So we're going to turn around and come back and try it this direction. You can stop the tractor. I mean, if you get the scarifiers down deep enough, you can see me kind of stopping there once in a while. So keep your hand on it and just adjust it up and down and change the pitch as you need it. And here's the view from my seat. Hey, let's get a few more shout-outs in. Mark and Aaron, hi guys. Regular viewers, long-term viewers, sure appreciate it, fellas. Wanna Fish checked in from Grizzly Flats, California. And Vidman, he checked in and asked me about that straw in a roll that has the nylon mesh used to create it, if the nylon mesh never goes away. And I'm here on record to say that stuff never deteriorates. Don't believe a word they say. It's been 10 years, and I've still got that stuff getting caught in the lawnmower blades, so I don't care for that stuff at all. Thanks for checking in, everybody. Appreciate it. Well, I think it turned out pretty nice. I'm just going to drive the tractor over and get a feel of how rough it is. Maybe pack it down a little bit. But we're going to get down here and I'm going to try to reverse blade it a little bit. See if I can push some soil in some places that were a little low. There you saw the dirt disappear, so that was a low spot. As I go backwards here, you're going to see the scarifiers are down just a little bit and in contact with the ground to just kind of reverse plow it, grade it, whatever you want to call it. You know, and you just have to play with the angle of the box, because the steeper the box, the more aggressive those scarifiers can get and allow the soil to not be picked up. It's just a little trial and error. A couple of passes, it's real easy to learn. Well, now it's time to have a nice pitching party here, picking up rocks and throwing them back into the woods. Quite a few of them here. I'll show you a few. I'm just going to pick them up and get rid of them. But otherwise, look, the lane's in pretty good shape, isn't it? It's just a little access road for the side-by-side and, like I said, the tractor. Here's the lower road done. So next we're going to put a clover seed on it. That's good enough for me. Then next spring I can get back here to the spring and start doing my landscaping project in there. So now we'll put the clover seed on. I'll show you what that looks like here. We're just broadcast spreading it on. There it is, just the little pellets. Kind of hard to see, but there's a relationship to my hand, just little bitty things. Pretty hardy. We had good rains in June and July, and then in August it just shut off. So we haven't had rain in a while, so we'll see how this does. Well, let's take a look at this now. That's about 3 months, and boy, we had such a dry August. I'm pretty happy with this, considering the amount of rain we have not got. So this is the upper road. It's a lot drier than the lower road you're going to see. So it's growing in here in some patches, and next year it'll just get better. But that's okay for me for this year. especially as dry as it's been. Now look at the lower one. A little more, there's some spring feeding out of that hillside there, so it's a little moister, and I think that came in pretty darn nice. So this would be nice next year to be able to drive back here and start that project. You know, my long-term plans, I'd like to landscape that, and then I'd like to put a little footbridge over that that gully there, that ditch where the spring is, over to the other bank. So that's long-term plans. All right, and here is the area where I dozered back the dirt that I pulled out of that driveway and filled that up. So it covered up nice. Well, thanks everybody for watching my adventures out here. Sure appreciate it. Stay in touch, take care, and be kind to each other. So long.